afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network's production of the Bonfire Premier Cup. It's Championship Sunday here at Nashville Super Speedway. 3 wide in the booth today. Mean Gene Money, Johnny Replay, KK, Kevin Kyle on the production. And boys, we've had a long season. We've seen some amazing racing. We've watched the farewell tour of Jason Landry. Question is, can he finish it off here today at Nashville? Johnny, what are you expecting out there on the track?
I'm expecting a hard battle between Vulpes and Landry. As we said, this is Landry's farewell tour. He has the ability to win it, but Vulpes has just been giving him a hard time. He just hasn't had the luck at the end of the races to be able to beat him.
So championship 4 here today. There they are. Jason Landry, top of the poll. 9 wins on the season for Landry. Doubles down and brings in 12 top 5s. Second in points going into this was Joe Vulpes, but Joe also 12 top 5s. So Johnny, this guy been on the edge of success, but watching Landry cross that line time and time again. Kevin Kyle, perennial top 4. Last 2 series, he's been in Cup cars. We've watched him advance to the Final Four. Could today be the day for the SimRacingNation.com factory driver to bust on through and put that belt around his waist? And behind him, the Florida man, Jax Duval. Duval has come on like a banshee at the end of the year, using a win to advance into that final 8, and then his production pushes him to 4th. Last week at Vegas, we saw Landry pick up his 9th win, but it was the Florida man, Jax Duval, coming home in 2nd, securing his position. Momentum-wise as well, Kevin Kyle coming home in 3rd last week. Johnny, all these guys have a story. All of them, you could easily connect the dots and explain why they would be the season 14 champion.
Yeah, and you even look back earlier into the season. I mean, Kevin Kyle was getting into some wrecks that were either costing him the race or he just was limping out there. But to be able to come back and get or become part of the top 4, it's anybody's race too.
Cannot wait to see this unfold in front of us. Hey, we got a Canadian infusion today. Here's Jaden Porter running that number 74 Edmonton driver here. Also, we got Richard Leclerc going to be out there today, French-Canadian representative. And, of course, Jason Landry, today's favorite, another guy from Canada. Here's a guy about as far away from Canada as you can get. I don't think the word sorry is in this fella's language, but definitely gonna need a big day out of Duval. You know, Johnny, it brings me back to think of the MRL Monday Night Mayhem. Jax Duval, just 3 seasons ago, was in the Final Four, goes into turn number 3 of the championship race. Buddy Sully in his sights. Duval lets off, no contact, Buddy Sully wins. What about today? Do you think Duval's going to remember that that kindness was a sign of weakness? You think maybe Duval might have that loud pedal all the way to the floor?
Oh no! If you're trying to beat somebody that had 9 wins throughout the regular season, I wouldn't be letting off.
That's what I like to hear. All right, also, we have another championship on the table, the Best of the Rest tournament. These 4 fellas made their way through an elimination round as well to come to this final showdown. Of course, Jared Kelly, remember, just 3 points short of making the round of 12, so a lot to prove for the double nickel. Behind him, Richard Modric. Again, lots of speed out of that car. Michael Sara, great season for the number 27 as he has pushed himself into this Final Four. And then Eric Gambrell, also part of that group of four. Gambrell, the youngest of the drivers with track experience, but really, this guy's come on so quickly. And you can see there from their all of their results from those last three races to get in, except for Gambrell's Spinaroonie at Bristol. That's almost all top tens for those four guys, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, Gambrell just kind of blew me away with how aggressive he just started getting, and now we started seeing him more in the top and more in the top five at one point last week, and then with his win on Friday with the ARCA series, he just came out a menace. Multiple times we saw him at the bottom of that best of the rest graph, and then he just jumped all the way up.
Yeah, Gambrell. I like that word menace. We might have to revisit that depending on how his driving style continues to progress. I think if I put a petition down through the garage, we might get a few drivers that would sign that thing and agree that sometimes he can be, but also brilliance on the track as well. So exciting to watch. You are watching the Vortex Racing Network's production of the Bonfire Premier Cup Championship Sunday, as we will see which of these drivers will dominate here today at Nashville to claim the title. Johnny, Nashville, such an interesting track. I cannot think of a track where qualifying and grid position more important. This track, you got to stay on the bottom. Anytime you start to plow up, you're vulnerable to passing. Do you expect to see a lot of passing here today? Are people going to wait till the tires start to wear, or are you expecting Wreckfest 2026?
I'm hoping we don't get a Wreckfest 2026. Hopefully it's nothing like Martinsville we've had. A couple wrecks would be cool. I don't know about. I'm not super familiar with the speedway. The first time I raced this track, I didn't realize you actually had to use brakes. So
Wow.
Yeah, they
Wow,
really
that's
confused it with the super speedway part of it.
Hey Kevin, it sounds like you might have a candidate for Sim and Destroy Racing over here. Gentlemen never lift. Hell,
Yeah.
this guy never breaks.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely in the running for a sponsorship.
You got to be able to ride the wall. That's how you can pass.
Oh, I think Trackhouse is higher, and we got your guy Johnny Replay right here, ready to throw out a Hail Melon in every turn. Chris Smith, the number 37 there, did have a wonderful top five, if you remember back at Echo Park. And hey, welcome back, David Medina, the number 9 Focum driver. David did have to bow out of the playoffs because he was moving and tore his rig down. Back now in his rig. And last time we were at Nashville, just last season, we did see David Medina take the win in a super exciting Nashville. 11 leaders last time we were here in week 3. 33 drivers did battle. The rest of the podium not here today. No David Owens, no Buddy Sully, but perhaps David Medina could turn this into a Kyle Larson championship for one of the top 4. A little bit rough of a weekend last week at Vegas, though, for Medina. Johnny, you think that's just a little bit of rust, or did everybody in the league suddenly just get 5 seconds a lap faster?
A little bit of rust. You're going to a new place. You have to get accustomed to it. You're off by a little bit. You kind of just don't feel like you're in your place. But I'm confident Medina's gonna do something out there today to make up for that.
Yeah, this is the final race of the year. You want to make sure everybody remembers your name, but I assure you, true believers, that nobody is going to forget who that number 9 is. Championships around the waist, rings on the finger of David Medina. Championship Sunday and Super Bowl Sunday. Lots to be determined as we round out the rest of this beautiful February 8th, 2026. And here he is, 9 wins on the season, Jason Landry. No longer can you call him a road course expert. This Ignition Point driver has had a storybook year, and now looking to pick up that 10th win. If you look at the tree on the left, you can see highlighted will be the green of the championship for the blue of the best of the rest. So that is something that we will be able to monitor throughout the rest of the day. Right now, qualifying underway, 10-minute qualifying session, single car as well. Going to give these guys an opportunity. And wow, Juan, we are seeing some seriously fast times. 29.7, David Medina up at the top, Landry 29.7. And this is that new package. You know, they finally they kicked it up. We've got the 750 horsepower on those cars. So we're expecting more speed, but possibly a little bit more higher degradation. Kevin Kyle, one of our championship four right here, the Laverne, California Sim and Destroy Factory driver, wanting to break through. Final fours are not enough. You know, Johnny, those Final Four t-shirts are cool, but the championship t-shirt, that's just a little bit better. You don't want to ship those off to a third world country. You want to put them on the merch trailer.
Yeah, nothing feels better than being able to rep that. But you know, if you get one that someone didn't win, you get it cheaper too. So,
well, it also causes confusion. I mean, think about the confusion in those third world countries. How many Dallas Cowboy world champion t-shirts have been distributed over there? They probably think the Cowboys have won 50 championships.
The best team in the world right now.
Absolutely. There's Kyle Lynott, the Coloradian, out here making an appearance, Gulf Coast driver. Kyle, he's had championship four experience, not in the battle for it today, but Kyle, a guy chasing trophies, and his speed definitely should put him on the radar of the viewers at home, as we're going to see exactly how qualifying is going to wrap up. And I believe the last flag has dropped. I see that the poll is up, and there it is. Congratulations to David Medina Sr. He takes the pole here today, and that makes him the SimRacingNation.com pole position award winner. Thank you, SimRacingNation.com and Jason Landry for sponsoring this. If you're not familiar, SimRacingNation.com, a community of iRacers sharing strategies and fellowship, as well as car setup. SimRacingNation.com. Give them a look online. Grasso David Medina Sr. for taking that position here today. Joining him up in the front row is going to be Jason Landry, the Canadian in the number 56, looking to get that 10th win and his fourth championship here today. Second row, Fish Speed driver Evan Stewart firing off from third. Jared Kelly, top of the best of the rest. Contenders going to be on the outside of the second row. Number 11, Joe Volpe is going to be starting in fifth, looking to chase down Jason Landry, tired of being the bridesmaid, ready to be the bride. Joey Stiers, been a minute since we saw the 2-3 on the track. Last year, Joey showed up at Homestead for the championship race, won the race, and turned it into a Kyle Larson championship. Maybe he'll do it again today, the 23 starting in sixth place. Ricky Mandela, Animal House Customs captain, starting in seventh. Final four contender, Kevin Kyle, firing off from the eighth position here on the fourth row. Eric Gambrell, second best of the rest driver, starting in ninth in the number 25 Chevrolet. Joined on the fifth row by Richard Modric as well, hunting that best of the rest title. Fulcrum driver Justin Malarkey firing off from the 11th position. And final four, that's a lot of finals. Jax Duvall going to be starting in 12th position in that number 84 Ford. David Brenner starting in the 13th position will be joined by Michael Sara in the number 27 machine. Jake Johnson starting in 15th, and Jaden Porter rounding out the 8th row.
Then we have Kyle Lynott in the 17th spot, followed by Jose Medina. And then if I could get this to scroll.
No scrolling.
No scrolling. We Got Jerry Rose in the 19th, Chris Smith in 20th, Paul Ferdiani 21st, Richard Leclerc in 22nd, Tim Darby 23rd, Todd Dunn 24th, and then Tommy Fox didn't put down the time. He's going to round out the
25 guys. Let's go to Larry Mack.
Good morning, everybody. Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR and Fox. You know, America's crew chief. Welcome to the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. You know the deal. All right, all right, all right. Drivers, start your engines. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go iRacing.
Larry Mack getting it working, part of the VRN team here today, covering Championship Sunday. Jason Landry on the outside, waiting for the flag to drop inside. David Medina with control. Across the start-finish line, away we go. David Medina gonna be leading them down. Look at Evan Stewart hugging the inside, taking the position away from Landry. Landry with momentum on the outside, down the backstretch, side by side with the 34. Medina in control with a two-car lead. Battle, though, for second. Still going on. Stewart hugging that apron. Fish speed driver holding it, now takes that position away, starting to go single file until we get back to teammates Kevin Kyle and Justin Malarkey. Behind them, David Brenner as well. Michael Sara hugging the apron outside. You can see the 8-4 of Duval as well as the 7-1 of Modric. Front row settled, back and middle of the pack, still working hard, Juan.
Oh my God, that was an insane jump from Medina. Just looking at it from the side, you see there's a huge gap, and it was not closing in for a cool minute.
You can see these drivers knowing that with the style of this track, with the one preferred line, your best opportunity to make a move is on a restart. You have to be aggressive early, or else you're going to be watching this 49-lap green flag run unfold in a single file situation. Once the tires do wear out, opportunities will arise, and it's really a matter of how long can you roll it without getting undercut or bump and run from behind. We have seen these fellas have to push back their entry because of the additional horsepower. Cannot wait to see how that affects it on a longer run. Up front, David Medina with the lead. Now Stewart closing the gap. Behind him, Landry as well, just a tad behind. But the battle right now, you can see just how close Stewart is. Landry very comfortable with letting those two drivers get away. Beautiful rear car view from Medina. And Johnny, look at the exit speed of Medina. You saw just how well he rolled it in, and there it is. Look at the 3-4, close the gap a little bit. Medina, though, lower on that line, able to use that exit speed. We might just be measuring this thing in inches by the end of the day.
I mean, like I said earlier, he came back to prove something. He just has been quick on it. I'm wondering how much practice time he put on this track. Because this performance upgrade was just released this week, correct?
That is right. I know that Thursday there was a lot of sessions going on, people trying to get a little quicker here. Look, you can see right there the 988 making his way around the 3-2 of Jake Johnson. So still a little bit of activity in the back, but this is exactly that single file racing that we made reference to early on that we were going to be expecting to see. David Brenner, Malarkey in that picture right there, battling for 10th. Then behind them, here comes Jax Duval. Duval needs to cut through this traffic while he still has rubber on those tires. Brenner a little bit higher, and that's really how it works here, Johnny. That you let somebody peek underneath that apron, they're going to get that run. And if they can get on that throttle quicker than you, they're going to be out of there. But you got to worry about the tires. How often can you go down that low and not suffer long-term effect?
The thing that I feel like they need to worry about too is that now with this higher horsepower out of these cars, I mean, we've seen these cars be really finicky if you just tap on the throttle at the wrong time. I'm wondering if that's going to be more dangerous here today.
Meanwhile, activity, you can see Modric, that's the in-car we have, starting to dance around the back of the 22 of David Brenner. This is for 12th. Modric gonna take a peek underneath. Remember, Brenner was a championship 8 driver, eliminated. Modric, though, something to prove. Gonna see if he can get side by side with Brenner. Now they're battling, coming across that start-finish line, taking it into turn 1. Michael Sara right behind them. That's the 2-7. Modric and Sara are battling for best of the rest contention. And ahead of them in 6th and 7th is Jared Kelly and Eric Gambrell, the other two. So all 4 of the best of the rest contenders in the top 7 right now. You got to love seeing that, Johnny.
I mean, these guys, even though it's the best of the rest tournament, these guys had the skills to be able to be in the top championship 4. Just, points and little mishaps, bad luck. But I can seriously see some of these guys being in that running.
Yeah, you know exactly what happened with Jared Kelly. He missed a couple of races and then just came up short. Gambrell as well, missing 3 races and thus eliminating them from contention. They got a nice run. Gambrell really closing the gap there on Jared Kelly. Would love to make something happen. Speaking of making it happen, look at Duval taking a peek under the Fokum 73 of Malarkey, now taking over that position up into 10th. And Duval up 2 spots is on a mission. And as you look up and down that leaderboard, Johnny, it is hard to make moves. Look now at Gambrell and Kelly side by side. Gambrell did get under him. Kelly trying to roll the middle. Gambrell and he side by side. Outside lane, not where you want to be. Finally, you can see Kelly let off a little bit, but that momentum going to keep this battle going. This is for the theoretical championship, but on lap 13, plenty of time to go. Ooh, dirty air for the 2-5 from the 2-5, and he's going to take over that 6th position. Good pass there by the pony up driver.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm scared about most when I'm racing tracks like this with, people that are actually in contention for championships is I'm scared to go, side by side at these turns. But I'm telling you, Garrett Gambrell, in a nicely put way, is a menace. We saw the shoulder check last week. He's ready out here to fight.
I love it. Meanwhile, Todd Dunn into the pit. That's the 72. Gonna take a look at that car. Not sure if he had some contact or what exactly is the strategy here. But lap 14, the 72 does bring it down. Up front, the lead, 0.3 of a second for David Medina, continuing to lead the 3-4 Ford of Evan Stewart. And then Jason Landry as well, 1.6 seconds back. So think he's saving his car to see what he's going to need late in the run. And behind him, if there was a song for these two, Johnny, it would be Me and My Shadow, as Joe Vulpes has been closer to Landry than all the other drivers all year long. And here it is once again, Vulpes with Landry right in front of him. Landry is lucky this isn't a reticle view because Vulpes has had him in his sights all year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just been bad luck at the last turn or last couple laps, just that taking that win away from Vulpes. But he's a very strong contender to beat Landry out.
Yeah, if I was to put money on it, it would be tough because we see, and again, you can see Kevin Kyle just right on the pace there, sneaking up, got by Jared Kelly, and now he's got Gambrell in front of him. That's a delicate situation to get by that 2-5 who's looking forward. But Kyle, lots of speed, lots of experience in these situations. Then you look at a Jax Duval This is another guy up 2 spots, lots of speed in his ride as well. All 4 of these drivers have a great opportunity here to etch their name on one of those beautiful KK Woodscape trophies. Lots of laps to go. We are scheduled for a stage break at lap number 75. This lap scheduled to go 200 here today. 4 sets of tires in the garage waiting for them, including the one on the car. And looky, Joey Steyer's on the move. Got a little dirty air, had to let off, but that 23 Toyota slowly creeping up on Jared Kelly. Makes me wonder, Johnny, what's happening in that double nickel? He lost the position to Gambrill, loses the position to Kevin Kyle, and now with a very aggressive Joey Steyer's coming up on him. You don't want to see that battleship get sunk this early.
From what I saw in the beginning of the race, he was one of the few guys taking the outside. So I'm wondering if he's continuing with trying to use the outside a little more than everybody else, trying not to stay in the single file line. But I mean, as of right now, it looks like he hasn't been doing that. So I'm not sure really what happened.
Well, he's holding on and giving Joey all the dirty hair that the 2-3 can handle. Little bump there from the 23 as he is all up in Kelly's business. Those two are having a good time with each other. And look at David Medina, problems for the number 9 there. Johnny, you might have to play Inspector Clouseau because all of a sudden our race leader back into 4th. Not sure what happened to him there. Oh, and he's calling out a pit as well. Oh, no, calamity for the Folcom team driver.
Yeah, I'm trying to see right now, but
it's hiding. Yeah, so he is in the pit now. Oh, racing continuing. David Medina, very sad. Last year's winner in week 3 here at Nashville. Day is either shortened or going to be filled with sadness, bringing her into the pit. That turns the lead over to Evan Stewart, the 34 Ford of Stewart, now in the lead with a almost 3-second lead over Jason Landry. Coming up on lap traffic, he's going to take a peek around the 13 of Tim Darby, put him a lap down. And Stewart looking strong up there in that black Ford as that lead continues to grow just a tiny bit over Landry every lap. Might be wondering who's the fastest guy on the track. That's Joe Volpes. Volpes with the clean air and just Landry ahead of him. The 3rd place car of Joe Volpes following that single file. This is a lot of what we expected here today, Johnny. That's why we talked about that qualifying.
Gotta interrupt you there. I think I found what happened, but we cannot see what happened. So we had a little bit of a glitch. I think he might have been affected by it, but he kind of just blinked back, was already slow. I think he may have hit the wall. He might have not been able to see, hit the wall, and then just lost his speed. He came back clear, tapped the wall again, and I think that kind of just damaged his car, and that's why he brought it down.
No bueno. Speaking of no bueno, looky here, Duval is trying to get by Kelly. Can't do it. Opens the door for Malarkey on the outside. So that Steyer's in the 2-3. Jared Kelly and Malarkey gonna look up high above Jared Kelly. He's at his quarter, racing him into turn number 1. The 73 rolling it in that middle lane. Behind them, Duval getting dirty air from both of them, and Malarkey makes the pass. So, again, Johnny, what's going on with the double nickel? Maybe he burned the tires early, or maybe he's waiting for a late run, and he gets a little touch from Duval. So, those two boys having a big time with it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of is he probably was using those first couple laps to kind of get a feel for how it was going to be to run on the outside. And since we're barely on lap 29, there really isn't a rush for him to, make any race-winning moves right now and have some sort of bad luck happen. That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, fastest mover up in the front has to be Kevin Kyle. He has moved up 4 spots. Currently finds himself running in the 4th position. So you can see there on the leaderboard, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are championship 4 drivers. And then Duval, the 4th of the drivers, still in a battle here with Jared Kelly. Hugging the apron. Kelly pinching it, preventing a good exit. But looks like the Florida man does make the best with the real estate he has and gets on by Jared Kelly. Kelly now dropping 6 spots into the 10th position. So Kelly, one of the drivers I imagine looking forward to getting 4 fresh tires. On lap number 30, these cars scheduled to go about 49 on a green flag run. So imagining 3 pit stops if we stay under green.
Now I'm seeing Darby going slow. I'm wondering what happened to him.
Oh yeah, the 13 off the pace there. Gonna have to do a little investigative work. Only 1 lap down. If he can get it back onto the pace, you'd think he'd be in good shape. Little ahead there. That's still that battle. Joey Stires, Justin Malarkey, and Duval, all of them just getting by Jared Kelly. That is the front end of Championship 4 contender Jax Duval, looking out the rear of Malarkey's vehicle. And look how similar the line is for all those drivers, Johnny. Everybody riding in that preferred line, especially here, lap 32 of the run. Nobody wants to overheat the tires by making aggressive moves. All that group tightening up just a little bit. Meanwhile, speaking of aggressive moves, we're looking at the 51 of Jerry Rose trying to chase down Jose Medina. Oh, a little excitement there with the 13. Rose with a 9th place finish last week at Bristol, 2nd top 10 of the year. But more significantly for that driver, Johnny, he's jumped on board with Evan Stewart, part of that Fish Speed consortium. And we've seen those results improve immediately for him with 3 top 15s, a top 10, and a stage finish of 6th as well. So looks like practice can pay off.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we went from the beginning of the season going, oh, no, Jerry Rose got hit again, he's out of the race, to now he's up here. That is huge improvements. I mean, I've heard how Jordan Fisher races on Mondays, or used to race on Mondays. I'm not sure if he still is, but yeah, huge improvement.
Yeah, it does pay to practice. And the results of David Medina Sr. as well. When David first came into this league, he wasn't running at the front like we see now, but putting in that time and taking the effort to improve yourself, definitely paying off. And something that we saw there out of the 51 over the last few laps. Evan Stewart, though, still has to feel good up front with that lead now, 3.3 seconds. But look at that last lap, Johnny. Now we're starting to tighten up. Landry and Vulpes quicker than Evan Stewart. Still about 14. Oh, no. Was that Kelly?
That was Jared Kelly.
Oh, no. We were worried about this. Kelly did appear to be off pace a little bit. I was curious if it was tires. And there he is spinning around. And that brings out our first caution of the day. There's the sirens. Big shout out to Todd Dunn. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Thank you, Todd. Todd Dunn sponsoring cautions all year long here for the Bonfire Premier Cup. Thank you, Todd. And yeah, that's a tough break. Right. That's going to tighten the field back up under caution here on 37.
All right. I have that. I have it ready. This is what I was talking about earlier, where I get afraid to go side by side because all you need is just a little tap right there in the wheel, and you're sideways.
Didn't the Beatles write a song about that?
Beatles is before my time.
I get spun with a little help from my friends. I go on the high side with a little help from my friends.
I think I'm a little too young for that.
Get out of here, Johnny.
A little too young and a little too Mexican. My Beatles are, bandas.
The Beatles. How do you say Beatles in Spanish?
Oh man, putting me on a test right here.
What, Peter? You just said you're too Spanish for it. Pits are open here on lap number 38. Everybody coming down for fuel. Now this is interesting. I see a few people taking the tires, some of the front runners. Now the middle and back not using tires. Very interesting. Remember, lap 75 is a scheduled caution for the stage break. I imagine a lot of guys thinking they were going to take those tires then. 3 scheduled pit stops if we stayed under green, so you could theoretically use the tires each time, still have the extra set. So maybe the guys that we just watched take tires are taking their extra set now. Landry, Volpus, 1 and 2, they took right sides. And then Evan Stewart, he took 4. Gambrel with right sides. Ricky Mandela with rights. Looks like Kevin Kyle took 4. Malarkey, Duval, Lynott, all these guys taking 2, down to Jaden Porter in 16, who took 4. So I'm sorry, took none. They just needed that much fuel. 11 seconds, no tires. That's a lot of fuel, Johnny.
Yeah, I feel like if you have the extra set, you might as well put them on. I'm wondering how the left sides were doing for some people who weren't only getting 2, and how much that's going to affect it, especially now with this new model package that we have on these cars.
Oh, that is a very good question. We'll get that data later on and be able to share it with you as this race continues. So more horsepower, different diffuser, definitely changing how these cars handle and that tire degradation. Jason Landry now taking over the lead from Evan Stewart. Volpus as well joins him on the front row. Stewart going with the 4 tires, finds himself behind. So, Johnny, this will be a great experiment of what's more important, track position or tires. Evan did a great job hugging that apron, but now he's got 2 pros in front of him to mess that up. Away we go. Landry bringing it into the restart zone. 3, 2, 1, go. There it is. Great start on the inside row by Landry. Gonna bring Evan Stewart with him. Joe Volpus on the outside falls into 3rd, single file. Mandela in front of Gambrel, tight battle. Kevin Kyle as well, single file, and then Malarkey and Duval. Duval stuck on the outside, side by side with the Malarkey. Kyle Lynott getting impatient behind the 7-3. Top row working for the 8-4, 8-4. Working outside, he is on no fresh tires, just took fuel. So you got to wonder how much traction he's got with this new package on the car. Still side by side with Malarkey. Ahead of them, Gambrel and Ricky Mandela also going to take it too wide to do their battle. That allows the top 3 cars to pull away. Landry, Stewart, Volpus, single file, pulling away from the rest of the group. Gambrel, Mandela battling. Look at Gambrel slam it down in front of the 3. Sarah Luce rose into the back. Oh, Porter around the outside. Jake Johnson, Chris Smith now going to take advantage of the 51. And David Brenner just going to blink at everybody in his confusion.
I mean, there's a lot more bump in here now. Things are starting to feel like an actual race.
Wow, you got to be, if you're the 51, you cannot be happy. He had battled up to 11th, was moving forward, and all of a sudden right into the back of the 27, hit the brakes rather than spin his good buddy, and costing him a few laps. Everybody continuing, though, under green here on lap number 43. Landry with a 0.3 of a second lead over Evan Stewart. Stewart with the fresher tires, but now with the dirty air of the 56. coming across that hood, changing the perspective of everything. You got to catch him soon, Johnny. You do not want the tires to wear down and fall out where you're just putting in the same lap times. Waste of tires. Stewart's got to press it.
Yeah, and then the thing that I feel like is a disadvantage of running in the front is that you're just running with clean air. You're not really running with dirty air. So if you're used to that and then you go to now you have dirty air, it throws you off.
Here's a guy with a little bit of trouble right now, Ricky Mandela. We saw him restart up in 4th. Now he's faded back to 8th, still stuck on the outside, doing battle with Malarkey. Here comes Modric on the inside as well. Good speed by Mandela, but how long can the 3 live on the outside on the older tires? Remember, we did come in for fuel on 37, but a lot of these guys going to try to push it all the way to 75 on that one set. Outside lane could be a death sentence for the rubber if we keep up that pace. Mandela now falling back into line as he and Malarkey have figured that out. 8th and 9th for Mandela, and then Modric rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, it's become very tight. I don't see how not getting tires was kind of an advantage, but I'm not as talented as these guys, so I can't really say that these guys are weird for that.
Yeah, it's position for certain that Landry wanted here. Stewart, a little strange here. Look at the lap times that Landry's putting down on the old tires. Stewart not closing the gap like we thought. Perhaps Stewart playing a long game, wanting to see Landry burn the tires out, assuming that he's going to catch up. Oh no, Duval into the grass, stops it. Oh, he's looking for a caution. Yes, there it is. He took a 300 level course. He took a 300 level college course from one of the pros. Pulls out that caution by stopping down on the apron. Duval brings out the caution here on lap number 48. Second caution of the day. Woo! Sirens are out, not to arrest him, but just to announce the caution. Thank you, Todd Dunn, for your sponsorship. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Todd Dunn, second caution of the day, and that's going to tighten the field right back up.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back at this, and this is kind of what I was worried about with this new model package. So I have that ready. Let's watch it together.
What are we going to do?
He comes out, and I think he just gets on the throttle, and it just car sent it to the side again.
Yeah, that dirty air said, hey, buddy.
Let's see if we can get into the cockpit here. And right there, yeah, right when he starts, you can see a little stutter of the throttle.
Yeah, and then once Porter splashed him with that dirty air, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, so the cars are still finicky, but they've been upgraded.
Well, and that's going to give David Medina an opportunity to play lucky dog, get it around. Also, you can see pits are open. Joey Stiers, Paul Ferdiani, Duval, and Tim Darby all taking this opportunity to splash a little bit more fuel into those cars. Looks like Duval and Darby getting a little bit of repair work done as well, as those are extended stays in their stall. Up front, Landry continuing to be your leader. Now, this resets it a little bit. Johnny, we did see Stewart on the newer tires behind Landry, but Fulpus was on the outside of row 1. Now for this restart, Evan Stewart's on equal ground. Question is, how hard will the 3-4 push on that outside lane to try to get around Landry and perhaps get an exit speed advantage? But it's going to take a pinch, and if you're on the short end of a pinch, you might kiss a wall.
Yeah, that's the one thing we don't want to see. I mean, we just saw it happen with Duval. it's such a, I feel like this is such a complicated case of I can do this, but here's the consequences of what I do. I could do this, but there's also consequences to what I'm gonna do. I would not want to be in those guys' shoes right now.
Oh, these are the veterans. And there it is. You can see 91 degrees now on the track, getting a little greasy out there. Ricky and Bubbles would be excited. Pace car has its lights off, bringing it around. Got to be super excited for what we're about to see here on this restart. Again, scheduled for that station, that caution at number 75. So can we take it green for just 25 more laps? Overall, good racing, Johnny. I haven't seen too much aggression. You know, we've seen a few people bump, but not too bad. Everybody able to keep it on the straight and narrow. Landry is the control car on the inside. Evan Stewart on the outside, rolling it in. You can see everybody getting tighter. Away we go. Landry with a good jump. Going to get ahead of Evan Stewart by one. Make it 2 car lengths. Stewart falls in behind Landry. Vulpes and Kyle side by side into the third row. Landry, great exit speed, trying to pull away from Stewart. Gonna stay with him. Look at Vulpes and Kevin Kyle doing battle. Outside lane a little faster, but inside lane less distance to travel. Now Vulpes gonna move up into third. Slams it up in front of Kevin Kyle. Single file now all the way back to Ricky Mandela Sr. in 8th. Mandela Sr. trying to battle with Modric. Modric not gonna give it up. Draws in on the 3. That battle's now settling in as Mandela takes 8th, Modric 9th, and then here comes Jose Medina on the apron. He's battling with Jaden Porter. Porter on the outside, and look at that. If you come in too hot, exit speed is really dangerous, and that lets Kelly pull in to that battle as well. Jared Kelly, you know he's got to be thrilled to have the new tires on that 55.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could kind of see a difference in speed. I feel like they do level out at a certain point, but right when you first get them on, huge difference.
And look at Porter go around the outside, and Jared Kelly's got to be telling him, don't do that. I assure you that is not the move early in the run. So Porter going to take over that position with that outside lane. That was the battle for 11th. And Kelly going to settle into 12th. Now going to take a little dip below him on the apron. Outside speed still working for Porter. But let's see just how long Jaden can make that outside lane last with the tires, considering how much more rubber it is going to burn. Kelly getting great exit speed off that inside lane right there.
It was like a slingshot pretty much. Oh, I think who is that? Leclerc on the grass?
Oh, is that why it happened? Yeah. The 117, he's bringing it back on. He's off speed.
I'm trying to check back right now, see what happened.
No, I don't know. Yeah, the speed is 119. I think they're under caution. I couldn't tell at first. Their speed was fluctuating. So that is going to bring out a caution here on lap number 56. Third caution of the day. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it, Todd. Thank you, Todd. Todd Dunn, of course, bringing our cautions all year long, wrapping it up here in the championship race from Nashville. Championship Sunday. I hear there's also a football game going on later today, but that's a backstory here to the front page of Landry versus Vulpes versus Kyle versus Duval.
Have that ready. It's to me, it's pretty insane what happened. Because you have Leclerc right there, right next to Smith, and they're just touching the whole time.
We touched it.
And nothing's happening until Duval comes in, and then there's a tap right there. So these guys were hugging the whole time.
Duval.
Yeah, these guys were hugging the whole time. And I'm surprised with how finicky these cars are, I'm surprised that didn't cause anything. And then Duval comes in, takes the finishing blow. And then
It almost reminds me of that last chance qualifier that they just did at Bowman Gray, where that one car came in trying to double tap both the drivers. You got to go fast. That Cup driver needs to take lessons from Duval. So, lap 57, we are under caution. Again, scheduled for a stage break on 75. So, we'll still have a good 18, 17 laps once this thing goes green. See where we will stand. You might be wondering who's making the most moves out on the track. That's that 988 of Kyle Lynott. Lynott up 10 spots into 7th position. And what makes that great is Lynott, one of the drivers that did not take tires. So he's got the extra set in the stall waiting for a late race caution if he needs them. But other than that, so ready to put on the freshies on lap number 75. Only drivers I see that I can guarantee, or I feel very secure in saying they took tires. Looks like Evan Stewart did take the tires. Kevin Kyle, perhaps, took the tires. Kelly and Jaden Porter as well. So Lynott there on the move now finds himself restarting on the inside of row number 4. Other drivers, you might be wondering, where's those championship drivers? Well, you can take a peek at that tree with the colors to give you all of that info. Landry in first, Kevin Kyle in 4th, Joe Vulpes in 3rd. And then with those shenanigans, we see Jax Duval has fallen to 17th place. Gonna have to see if he can make his way up through that crowd. Now, he did take tires there on lap number 48, did Duval. So he's hoping that the fresh tires gonna help him make his way through the crowd. Stage points not very important for the championship or the best of the rest, but the other guys will take them. Why not? Here we go. Jason Landry rolling it into the restart zone. Evan Stewart on the outside. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Very late start. Landry waits till the last moment. Kind of backs up the field. Stewart on the outside. Now gonna be side by side with Vulpes. Vulpes dives it down. Outside speed of Stewart holds. Stewart now trying to roll it through the middle. Vulpes with a little better speed in the middle of the turn. Cannot get to the apron fast enough and gonna fall into 3rd. Gambrel 4. Here comes Kevin Kyle hugging the apron, looking for 5th and is gonna hold on to it. Meanwhile, behind him, look at Lynott and Malarkey. Remember, Lynott on the older tires, and he's on that inside lane. Keep an eye on that 988. Ahead of them, Kyle hugging the apron behind Gambrel. Wow, side-by-side battle for Lynott and Malarkey. This is for bragging rights alone, and both these drivers accustomed to running in the top 5, making battle. Behind them, Modric and Ricky Mandela. Mandela holding on to the top 10 position through the tribulations he's had with that car. Now under attack from Jared Kelly and Medina behind them. David Brenner also coming into the picture. Great racing here early, lap 61.
I'm surprised at how much Lynott is just able to keep up with these guys on the older tires. You could really, it's like a real testament to his skill right there, which no one really doubted. But you know.
Meanwhile, speaking of burning tires on the outside lane, you saw the 51 trying to get around the 27 there. Michael Sara is best of the rest driver. Doesn't want to be caught up in traffic. Oh, 51 takes it way up high. That's not how you ride the brakes. Jordan Fisher would disapprove. Other racing going on up front. There's Brenner taking a peek inside. Oh, and Porter gets loose into Mandela. They're battling there. That backs it up. Look at Rose on the apron. There's Sara side by side. Jose Medina off pace just a little bit on the outside. Oh, a lot of wiggling.
Yeah, I think everybody's just afraid right now to even get touched.
Look at Duval. He's like, I don't have time for this.
It's like, patience, Duval. We need to breathe. We need you in this race.
Yes. All right. So, a little bit of contact involving Jose Medina. Kind of slowed the field up there. Again, great skills by all the drivers maintaining their position. You can see Sara trying to get around Smith, but he's going to have Medina in front of him. Going to be hard to advance through there. Gives the 54 a little love tap, wanting more speed. And there he goes into the apron, steadying that hand. Looks like Joey Steyer's also back there. That's surprising. The 23 was running so fast earlier on in this race. Up front, look at this. Lynott won the battle with Malarkey. Now he gets around Kevin Kyle. Gonna wiggle a little bit, make everybody nervous. Holds on. This is the battle for fifth. Kyle gonna look below him on the apron. Lynott, though, this guy makes the middle work. We saw him on a couple of other tracks, Johnny, and he makes the wall work as well.
And with old tires. That's astounding me right now. Or did he get the same tires?
Oh, right side. So we're hearing from our producer that Lynott and Kevin Kyle took right sides back then to continue this battle, but still only 10 laps remaining in the stage, and these two racing like it's for a championship. Meanwhile, Jose Medina back on pace, back in the 12th, 13th position. You can see him peeking under the pony up driver. Got a crowd of cars behind him as well. Little bit of a gap there from that hiccup that they had just 4 laps ago. Looks like Sarah's going to take a peek underneath the 51, and here comes Duval. This is a man on a mission. That 84 has got to get up with the lead cars. 37 is Smith going to take it up high. Wants no piece of that 84 today.
I will say the blocking has been great, because right now Duval did pass the 37, and he had so much speed, and just the block from Sarah kept him boxed in.
Well, Sarah also fully aware that track position is everything here today. Doesn't want to get caught behind or start falling, fading in the wrong direction. So everybody with something to battle here today, and we're just seeing that come to fruition in front of us. Malarkey, here comes Modric now hugging the apron. Kevin Kyle, he is in 8th on the outside. Jared Kelly coming into the picture. Only a few laps left here in this first stage, but clearly can see some of the cars that just took the 2 tires now really feeling the ill effects, and track position as well. Johnny, if you're on that inside, you got to be thrilled. If you're on the outside, you're in a whole different ball game.
As of late, like, I've been seeing a lot of guys making the outside work, and that's impressive. Sorry, wrong word. You're not really slowing down on the outside, at least from what I'm seeing. But you know, I'm not as skilled.
It's definitely a different role. You can see it where you enter. You just want to make sure you hold your line there. You enter high, you got to roll high and exit high. Here's Sara now going to take a peek under the 51. Here comes an impatient 84 trying to make that outside work as well. And there you can see the 51 kind of held his line. Going to have a little bit better exit speed, but the Sara in that 27 trying to make that opportunity work. So good side-by-side battle. This has been going on for about 3 laps now. Oh, and a little slide in front. Good pass there by the 27.
Those little skirmishes are starting to worry me a little bit. Starting to see more and more of that as these tires get used up.
And look at Duval. He is not wanting to wait. He's getting up under the 51, trying to loosen that car. Exit speed, though, the dirty air affecting the 84 fades away. But you can see what he's doing there, Johnny. He wants to get that front end right up under that left rear, get that car loose, push it up the track, and give him a clean exit.
That too, and little intimidation tactic too. Once you see them in the side view, you're like, oh no, they're right there. I need to pick it up, and then that's when mistakes start happening.
Oh, there's nothing worse than overdriving into one of these corners. Oh, little wiggle there by the 2-3. You can see that exit speed decreased and cost himself. Now he makes it up on the entry again. But those cars in front of him with just, it seems like a little better exit. Oh, I thought Duval was going to make it way under there. This is Chris Smith now. This guy's got a front row seat. Sara slowly pulling away from the 51 and the 84, but 51 is giving the 84 a migraine right now. And so if Duval, when he's had enough, he'll let you know. But it looks like he's trying to do it the old-fashioned way. He just wants to get him loose by taking away his air. This is a great in-car cam for the 37. Oh, Duval starting to get impatient, diving down under the apron.
Yeah, I've been seeing for the past 2 turns, there's a lot of bumping between these guys, a lot of difference in speed. I don't think any of it is obviously intentional, but the huge speed differential between some of these guys.
Oh, meanwhile, best of the rest candidates, Rick Modric and Jared Kelly battling. That's the battle for 7th and 8th. Now, remember, Gambrel is ahead of them. Oh, and we're off the pace. Looks like we might be under. That was the stage. All right, so that is going to take us to the stage. And you know what, Johnny? This is about as good a time as any. Let's give a little bit of love to our sponsors, if you know what I mean.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
KK Woodscapes, making trophies for many leagues across the VRN umbrella. Results of the stage. Jason Landry did take the stage. Evan Stewart coming in 2nd. Joe Vulpes takes 3rd. Eric Gambrel 4th in the stage. Kyle Lynott finishing 5th. Justin Malarkey 6th. Richard Modric 7. Jared Kelly 8. Kevin Kyle 9. And David Brenner 10th in that stage, rounding out the top 10 who would receive points. Again, this is a championship race, so we're not counting stage points for advancement any longer. But for bragging rights, Johnny, it always feels good to get you some stage points.
Oh yeah, especially when some people, try to take the strategic route and, don't worry about stage points. And now it's your turn to be up in the front. I will brag about that for months.
Oh, there are people, that are battling out here for just end of season stats. So that's definitely a way that you could do that, is just to get a couple of more stage points in your quest to move up the overall leaderboard. So back onto the track. Looks like everybody taking the opportunity to get the tires, except new leader, Jared Kelly. This guy said, I'll just take 2 and I'll be in the front. So crazy strategy here. Hail Mary by Jared Kelly to take over the no tires. Wow. So no tires for Jared Kelly puts him in the lead. Curious. Joining him on the front row will be Evan Stewart with 4 fresh tires. Jason Landry, Joe Vulpes, going to be on the second row. Eric Gambrell, Justin Malarkey going to be in the third row. Kyle Lynott, Rick Modric in the fourth row, and Kevin Kyle, David Brenner rounding out your top 10. So, Gambrell, let's talk about this guy, Johnny. Quietly, this fella has led best of the rest all day long. Stage break comes along. Jared Kelly doesn't take tires, puts himself ahead of Gambrell. Do you think he can hold on to this with no tires, though?
I mean, from the way I've been seeing Kyle Lynott, it's definitely a possibility. But I don't think you'll be able to hold on to it for anything more than maybe 10 laps.
Maybe. Going to have to see what happens. All right, so we're about to go green here, and this is as good a time as any. Let's play a little Crank It Up with the boys of Bonfire. Wow, great racing there off of the jump. We see Jared Kelly holding on to the lead with his ignition point teammate Jason Landry directly behind him. Evan Stewart holding on to third. Vulpes, Eric Gambrell as well. Gambrell had a lead on Stewart and Vulpes temporarily, but the two drivers making their way around Gambrell falls back into fifth. Single file behind them, Lynott, Malarkey, Kyle, all the way back until Duval getting by Brenner, now taking a peek under Rick Modric. So that 84 on a mission, Johnny, slowly creeping his way back up into contention. Never count out the man from Florida.
I mean, a man from Florida and a Canadian man, they're two completely polar opposites. He's just been so aggressive today.
Yeah, you figure one of them's tuxedo is made out of denim, and the other one's tuxedo involves a pair of shorts and flip-flops. So these two definitely polar opposites on their scale. How about this? Jose Medina up in ninth right now. This is a fella that had a little bit of contact early on, has been in a couple of incidents, but that 54 looking clean right now, making his way into the top 10. But he's got two championship 4 contenders in front of him and behind him. This is a very precarious place for anyone to be, because aggression on any side, I would expect, could alter the race for all these fellas.
Yeah, I think if it were me in there, I would be praying that Duval and Kyle swap places, because Duval's going to come in aggressive, and you kind of can't let him, but he's also a championship driver. You want to give him the respect and not ruin his race. I feel like that'd be more scary. I know Kevin Kyle would pass me cleanly, but Duval is out there aggressive right now.
Nice. All right. Speaking of, here's Jared Kelly, aggressive pit stops, trying to hold on to his position with contact deeper in the field as well. That's fun. Kelly right here trying to hold on with these older tires. Got Joe Vulpes behind him. Kelly, though, this might work out for him. You know, he's about a second, 1.2 seconds ahead of Gambrell, and he's got Vulpes and Lynott in between the two of them. So great chance there for him to move up. This is the aggression I talked about. Joey Stiers came in there with a heavy bumper. Oh no, Ricky.
Oh,
Ricky Mandela gets into contact, goes up the track into Leclerc. That is no good. Caution on lap number 87. Mandela trying to get her back around. Oh, big shout out to Todd Dunn. He didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Thank you, Todd. Todd, of course, sponsoring our cautions all season long here on the Bonfire Premier Cup.
all right. I have that ready.
There you go.
All right, so check out the 117 and the 3. Both coming in. That's pretty much almost 3 wide there. And the little tap there sends him spinning around. And then he comes down, and Tommy Fox is there to collect it. Oh, gets hit. Mandela goes back up the track, hits Leclerc again. Or not again, little payback. They're into the wall, and then Tommy Fox just out in the grass and goes straight for the inner wall.
Oh, no. Oh. I didn't see that. That was painful. All right, so check it out, Johnny. I think some people broke out their Texas Instruments calculator. Look at the pits. You got about 7 or 8 guys coming down here on lap number 90. This thing's scheduled for 200. Maybe you can push it to 50, 51, 52 laps, but you think these guys are doing some math, hoping on a caution?
I'm trying to do some math right now. We're on lap, which is 90.
Yeah.
50, 51, that'd be 140, 141 laps.
Mm-hmm.
One pit, another 50 laps would be 190.
Mm-hmm. Unless you could push it to 55 both times. Hey, man, I've seen Joe Vulpes do it, but Joe Vulpes didn't come into the pit. Top car that did do that, Kevin Kyle, championship contender. So this guy already breaking out the playbook, trying something a little different than the other 3 guys. So we're gonna watch. And look, Kyle ain't done. He's like, you know what? Let's Joey Logano this thing. Put more fuel in it, buddy. Put some concentrate in that thing. So definitely on the radar. Here comes Paul Ferdiani also to do that. So those couple of guys taking double top offs here late, right in the middle of the race. The lights are off that pace car. We're still seeing Landry and Evan Stewart. They've put on a great show for us battling here today. Jared Kelly with the strategy of no tires remains in the top 5. Of course, Kelly battling with Gambrill, Sara, and Modric for that best of the rest. Up front, Landry battling with Vulpes and Duval, and now Kevin Kyle showed further down the tree. But remember, Kyle on a strategy of his own now, hoping to do this in just one more pit stop. Either needs a caution or he's going to have to push it to about 55 laps per run to get that one pit stop. Fascinating strategy. Here we go. Pace car is out of the way. Landry rolling it slowly into the restart zone. Let's see where he does it. Waits does it right in the middle. Great start. Going to bring his teammate with him. Kelly going to clear Evan Stewart. Fade up into the preferred lane. Landry, Kelly, Stewart, single file behind them. Kyle Lynott fades up the track. Almost makes contact with Stewart, but does get ahead of Joe Vulpes for his effort. Stewart and Kelly battling, going down the back stretch. Oh, look at Kelly ghost for a minute. He's back. He's still on the apron. Stewart on the outside, side by side with Kelly. This is the battle for second. Jared Kelly on older tires, but has the preferred line. Evan Stewart on the outside. trying to get by before he blasts the rubber off of his. Looks like he's clear. He is. Kelly falls into line. Now it's Landry, Stewart, Kelly, and then single file back to Lanat. Outside of him, it looks like Malarkey taking a peek around the outside, and Jose Medina has moved up into 7th now. The 54, he's got a forward progress in his pocket.
Yeah, after that shoulder check last week from Gambrel, and Gambrel being right there behind him right now, no other option than to go forward.
Yeah, there's certain drivers that you need to move quickly when they're behind you, especially if they're in that part of the race. Medina has Gambrel and Duval behind him, so I think it gets about as fun as you can have, as much fun as you can have in a car right there. Look at this, Duval getting frustrated as all the traffic in front of him is blocked. Medina can't get clear of Malarkey, can't get clear of Gambrel, and here we go, side by side. Duval gonna go up into the 3rd lane, looking around the outside of Malarkey, then loses momentum, inside lane works. Big move by Duval, but he's gotta close that door if he wants to move up.
I think the outside would work, but he's just going too far out to be able to make anything out of it.
Yeah, he's definitely ripping the tires here. He's got to smooth out that line. Here we go. Gambrel now looking inside. But you got to wonder, Johnny, with the early entry on these corners, it really takes away from the exit speed or increases the tires. I've seen a lot of late apexes in these turns being much more successful. So it's very difficult to think you're just going to drive underneath somebody unless you initiate the contact. Here we go. Gambrel now going to take a look around Malarkey again, but because of that early entry, he just is denied mid-turn speed. Tries to bring it back up in front of Duval. Duval touched the bumper of Gambrel. I think I smell a calamity cooking.
I mean, just look at the flames on the outside of his car are very indicative of what his emotions are.
Oh, he's going to get to the quarter. He's going to get to the mid. You know, Malarkey loves watching this. It gives him a chance. Here it is. This looks good by Duval. Late entry, brings it down, gives Gambrel the dirty air. But, into the wall. Gambrel with contact. I see damage on the front end of the 2.5. He's fading backwards. We're staying under green. But Gambrel, he goes from battling for 7th and 8th to find himself back in 14th. Tough break there. And damage for the 25.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is just get hit and no caution comes out. I mean, we've seen a couple races in the season where the cautions were just weird and either not giving it to them, so they're out there with a damaged car, or they're giving it for something that really shouldn't have been a caution, but it just sucks to get damaged and not have a caution.
Battling continues. Single file up front. Closest battle looks between Jared Kelly and Kyle Lanat. The 988 trying to make progress, and directly behind him, the forward momentum of Jose Medina continuing behind them. Top guys running around a 30.3. Fastest lap last time, though, was Evan Stewart with the 30.19. I think once we see Medina close this gap, we're going to see some fun racing with those three.
Yeah, I'm looking around the field, and there's really just a lot of gaps between everybody.
Yeah, this is what we expected here, was a lot of single file. You might be wondering about Kevin Kyle. Remember, he's trying that different strategy. Currently, Kev's back in 19th, trying to save a little bit. Let's take a peek there. Look at how easy he's getting on that thing. Yeah, that guy's, he's basically shutting it off, trying to push this thing to 55 laps. Look at that. Yeah, staying in fifth, definitely making it work, needing to push about 55 laps out of that number 31 if this strategy is going to work for him. Up front, Stewart trying to catch up, but last lap, Landry 7/100ths of a second faster, slowly pushing that gap to 7/10ths of a second. Evan Stewart wanting to find the speed in that 3-4, but with the dirty air and the success Landry has had all year long. Landry, 9 wins. Landry, 12 top 5s. This guy on fire here for the farewell tour. Once again, finds himself in that familiar first place. And look at the battle right there, Johnny. You can see 5 laps, Stewart quicker on 3, Landry quicker on 2, but nobody gaining or losing, basically, the telemetry showing.
Yeah, it just goes to show their skills. Like, they've just been able to keep it apart, but they're all still within each other still.
How familiar are you with Nashville? Have you done many green flag entrances in pit road?
I think I'm just terrible at green flag pit stops.
This is a fun one because when you come out of 4, that lane comes very quick. If we get into a situation where green flag pit stops come onto the board, I think we're going to see another opportunity for guys to pass and get past. So something we need to keep on our radar as we're moving forward throughout this race. We're on lap 105. Most of these boys last pit on 77. So keeping that in mind, somewhere around 120, 122, we can expect to see these cars come down. Been green for a while, not trying to give anybody a broadcaster jinx. And then there we go. There's some pit strategies that we've seen as far as the tires go. Look at Medina and Lanat. They look great on that. Oh yeah. Look at how quick Duval was on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Kelly's just doing a great job with on the same tires. Like, it's just it's wild to me that there doesn't seem like they're getting affected at all really much. They're kind of evening out with the rest of the field, especially with the guys with newer tires. You're not really seeing him fall behind or anything.
No, if you look at his lap time, 30.34, that's faster than Stewart, about the same as Vulpes. Not as fast as Landry, though. Landry now trying to put a little flex on it. You know, he's throwing it up, just showing that he's a little quicker. He's pushed that gap over Stewart now to 1.1 second. Behind them, though, that battle is tight, and you really do. Kelly, what a move for him. He took no tires. Gambrel gets caught in the chaos, and now Kelly takes over. Like you said, not really suffering speed loss with those old tires.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe going on the outside gets that extra rubber on the tires, and it's actually helping.
Well, what, you think he's going to run over some of the
throw some tread
beads
back in there?
Yeah, he run over the beads and the marbles and get a little more rubber on it. So plenty of math going on in the pit stalls. The biggest math, of course, coming from Ferdiani and Kevin Kyle, who did that late pit to see if they could hold on and get some extra laps in there. There's a little in-car right there. I think that's Mr. Ferdiani himself. I'm surprised he doesn't have more gambling paraphernalia on him.
Yeah, I think I got kind of ruined by our fellow broadcaster Zach Panzarella. Like, every time I want to say his name, I always want to say Ferdiani. Oh my
Well,
God.
no, you know what he says. He says Ferdiani, and then I have to say Annie. I think he does it on purpose.
I think he's Italian, right?
Yep. So Zach, with a name like Panzarella, I think he figured that out. All right, so we are getting some spread apart cars here as the stage goes on. You can see where they do tighten up just a little bit is right there where Joey Steyer is closing the gap on Duval. Those guys separated by about a tenth of a second now as Duval gets right a little loose. Steyer's into the stream. Steyer's is going to tap him. Say, hey, buddy, I need to go around you. I know you're racing for a championship, but I need a trophy. Steyer's, he brings it up close to the front end of Duval. Duval holds his line. Side-by-side racing, Toyota versus Ford. Ford in the middle, trying to roll it. Steyer's hugging the apron. Great driving by the 2-3. Good exit speed. Joey Steyer's going to take over the 8th position. And you can see out the back, Duval shaking his head in disbelief at the driving skills of Joey Steyer's.
Yeah, I think the driving was a little too calm for too long. Now Duval has to step it up again. Get back to that aggressiveness we saw earlier.
Well, here comes Rick Modric as well, slowly creeping up onto Duval. And there's a pack of hungry wolves. That's all for position. Brenner, Porter, Michael Sara, that's a best of the rest driver as well. And then a 1 second gap behind the green number 27 to get back to Gambrell, who's yet to recover from that adventure that he had ramming into the rear end of Duval. Brenner gonna take a look down low, trying to make his way around. Oh, and the 84 gives a bump into Modric. Medium contact. I won't call it heavy contact, but I assure you that Modric was glad he had that gear protecting his head from whiplash. Duval very anxious on the outside. If that doesn't make Modric drive faster, I don't know what will.
Yeah, and to be able to keep the car steady, I could have swore that would have been a caution right there.
Wow, look at this. The 84 getting very close to the drivers around him right now. I thought his front end was going to tap Brenner's right rear bumper with that move. So Duval throwing out all of the shots right now. Knows he's got to make his way up. Back in 11th place. Cannot be happy with his efforts here today, knowing he should be further up and he needs to be. Here's a nice battle, Jared Kelly and Kyle Lynott. Kelly is in contention for best of the rest, using the strategy of no tires to get to the front. Gonna maybe lose here. Lynott on the inside. This is the battle for 4th and 5th. Look at this. Kyle Lynott using the 4 fresh tires to finally get by Jared Kelly. But it took him a while, 30, oh my word, many laps. Ooh, what you looking at there, Johnny?
I'm looking at, trying to split my eyes like a chameleon and look at everything. So we're looking at 22
these two
and the
are
84.
crazy, man. Look at these guys.
Yeah, it's getting heated, but like I feel like something's just missing from Duval, because we're seeing him like up the track, down below, like he's in the front, he's in the back. Like I think there's just too much going on in his head.
We need a heart monitor.
Oh, that thing would.
We need a heart monitor. Oh, look at that action down in the pits. Looks like Justin Malarkey's going to be the first of the drivers to bring her in. Jaden Porter looking like he's going to take a little pit stop as well. Now, remember, cars can only go about 50 on a new tank of gas. So these guys, even though they're pitting now, will need to come in one more time to make it to the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Would it be what 170? Oh, that'd be close.
Yeah.
Unless a caution comes out to save them, but there's gonna be a lot of
No, I
crunch.
mean, they're coming down at 122. There's no way they're going to push it to 70, 68 laps. So they're definitely going to do one more. Meanwhile, 16 cars on the lead lap. Looks like Evan Stewart as well. He pitted on 118. Stewart now trying to make his way around some of the traffic. Remember, Stewart has been a top 3 car all day long. The Fish Speed Ford. Trying to see now maybe getting fresh tires before Landry. Maybe that will give him the opportunity to close that gap. We'll just have to keep an eye on lap times. But that last lap, Evan Stewart 30.44. Landry 30.30. Not what Stewart needs to close the gap. Malarkey 30.09. So we do see 0.2 of a second. And then Stewart, look at that one, 29.92, Johnny. Making use of fast tires now, finding himself 0.3 of a second, almost 0.4 faster than Landry.
Yeah, those are like qualifying lap times.
Yeah, he's burning down rubber, but that's exactly what he's going to do if he wants to dethrone Jason Landry. Landry's a man on a mission. He's led so many laps here today. Was second to Medina on the front row for the starting lineup. So without Medina in this thing, Landry has to feel good. Question is, where will he be in comparison to Stewart once it all rotates around?
I'm looking right now at the 56 and the gap between him and the 11. It's an insane gap.
Yeah, Joe Volpus about 2.9 back. But, Ferdiani a little bit off the pace. Almost hit the wall, letting his teammate go by. Remember, Ferdiani is one of the drivers doing the extended, maybe I can do it on just one more stop strategy. Meanwhile, everybody else still giving it a good run. They pitted last on lap number 77. Chris Smith did come in on 88. Kyle Ferdiani on 89, and then the 3 drivers that have pitted here in this fuel window, lap 118, 119, 120. And now sounds like Gambrel gonna bring it on down. Yeah, look at Kyle milking this thing. You'd think he was a dairy farmer. Oh, here comes Rick Modric. He sees his best of the rest candidate, competitor Gambrel come in. Modric going to match him and come in as well. Let's see if Sarah and Kelly come in soon, or if they try to push it a little bit farther.
Yeah, Gamble was able to catch up quick. He got up to 10th right before he came down to the pits. It was after the incident. He was what, like 17th or something like that.
All right, here we go. A little more action on pit road. Looks like Kyle Lynott and Joe Volpus. So if you're thinking about fuel strategy, you got to think about Joe Volpus. Volpus bringing it in here on 129. Don't think you're going to push it 70 laps. We'll have to keep an eye. More people coming in. Here comes Michael Sarra, best of the rest candidate, coming in. Here comes Jose Medina into the pit, and here comes your leader rolling it as well. Ooh, look at that party. Landry, though, leading this thing up a little further on pit road. Who that?
I believe that it's Jerry Rose too coming in.
Yeah, well. Last on, last off. Landry up front. Let's see, getting the tires on this thing. And away. Oh, look, all the Florida leaves have fallen off the right side of his car. Oh, there they are. They're on the left. Oh, new leader out there. No points for leading a lap, but it feels good, and you get camera time. How do we know? Because we're the camera. Chris Smith in the lead in the number 37 Chevrolet. Kevin Kyle into second. Paul Ferdiani into third. Of course, Kyle and Ferdiani running that extended fuel strategy, as is Richard Leclerc. Leclerc making it work as well.
I got something, guys.
What's happening here? What's Duval doing?
Oh.
He's wiggling at you.
That's not throwing a caution, right?
I'm not sure what's happening there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go watch him while y'all watch that.
I got the replay. I got it ready. So he's coming out of the pits, and he just spins it out right there.
No. Oh, and look at that. He's back in the pit. Duval is back in the pit as well.
A little squirmish. I wonder what happened there.
Wow. All right, so you're looking at Gambrill doing battle right here with Joey Stiers side by side. Stiers and Gambrill both have showed great speed here today. Gambrill, with the incident with Duval, faded back, now trying to battle his way forward. Joey Stiers had contact early on and has steadily made his way up back toward the front of the pack. They're chasing Rick Modric. Modric, of course, battling with Gambrill for the best of the rest title. Jared Kelly, Michael Sara as well in that group of four. Oh, and speaking of, there's Sara battling with Porter and Jake Johnson here on lap number 134. Pit's open. All right, so this makes me think Leclerc not going to be able to do the one pit. He had pitted on lap number 88, was theoretically on pace to try it, but difficult order to get 56 laps out of it. Ferdiani, Kevin Kyle, the other two cars trying to stretch out their run so that they would only need the one pit stop. You can see just how far off the pace he is by doing this. Oh, a little quicker that lap. Yeah, look, you can see exactly how he's just turning this thing off, feathering it, finally redlining it off again, rolling it, just using that rolling speed there in the middle of the turn to try to keep his forward momentum going. This is the other driver trying the same technique. Ferdiani looks like he's a little bit quicker there, and that forces him up towards the wall. Going to go a lap down there to Kelly, who just pitted. And Chris Smith still out there. He's bad. That 37's pushing it there, Johnny.
Yeah, so I was looking right now, trying to find a difference between Kevin Kyle and Ferdiani's strategies. I think Ferdiani's staying on red line just a tad bit longer than Kevin Kyle, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down first before Kevin Kyle does.
Yeah, Kevin Kyle has moved up into second, whereas Ferdiani roughly 8 seconds behind Kevin Kyle. And there we go, a little more David Medina. You know, Medina, he got back like 6 laps from those cautions. He was lucky dog every time, but still finds himself down. Meanwhile, only 8 cars on the lead lap as we go through this pit cycle. You can imagine tension will be high while Kevin Kyle is on the track, as a lot of these people could face the real possibility of either going a lap down or being stuck out there on older tires to get a wave around if they get caught behind a caution, with Kyle leading the bunch. Chris Smith, last pit on 88. Can he pit? Can he stretch it? No. Chris Smith now choosing to come down for a pit stop. We're on lap 140. If Kevin Kyle could push about 5 more laps, Johnny, if he and Ferdiani can push about 5 more laps out of this thing, then that would show you it is possible, it is doable. And then we compare that strategy against the raw speed of Jason Landry. Now, you were wondering, because of where Stewart pitted back on 118, where would he be in comparison to Jason Landry? Evan Stewart is in third behind Landry, but he's 4.4 seconds behind him. You can see the 34 making his way around the Gambler. Joe Vulpes very close to Stewart as well. Vulpes last pitting on 128, so definitely Vulpes will need another pit stop, but he is on 10-lap fresher tires than is Evan Stewart.
Yeah, so I want to get your insight. How much of a wrench in the equation will it be if there's caution come out for Kevin Kyle?
Johnson sideways. Oh, no.
Oops.
Goes immediately. All right, so this is worst case scenario for Rose and Brenner. Chris Smith is going to be your lucky dog. He's a lap down. Rose and Brenner are going to be forced to stay out and get a wave around. Both those guys last pitted on lap 130. So it's not going to affect them immediately, but you're going to quickly see these two guys on 14-lap older tires suffer. And how about fuel strategy, Johnny? If you come in now, Kevin Kyle just showed you could push 54 laps. So if you come in now, take the fuel, caution 2 more laps, you could do it. It could be done. So this really puts Brenner and Rose behind an 8 ball, but every other driver, based on what Kevin Kyle just did, could theoretically come in, take 4 tires, and have enough fuel to finish this race with a little bit of racecraft.
I feel like they could, but we're starting to get closer to the end of the race. This is where you kind of want to be more aggressive. Are they really going to be letting themselves kind of coast through the turns, kind of let people catch up? I don't know. It's a gamble.
Well, here we go. As I suspected, everybody bringing it down except for Rose and Brenner. Chris Smith will be the lucky dog, so he's going to zip it around, and then he's going to pit. But every other driver bringing it down. Looks like, yeah, there goes Smith around. I'll tell you what, if you're the 54 and the 22, you got to be very pleased. Very pleased with absolutely nothing.
All right, I do have the replay of what happened, and it's just bad luck. I think he disconnected for a bit, because right there we lose him, and when he does come back, I think he had hit the wall already, and he just lost control and hammered the wall.
Well, I'll tell you what, he didn't cause it, but he paid for it. Todd Dunn, thank you, sir, for your sponsorship of these cautions. Jake Johnson's unaliving himself, going to bring out the caution here on lap number 143. Brutal. All right. So up front, let's see the strategy. Looks like Evan Stewart rights only. Very surprising considering we're about to have a long run. But remember, Stewart did take tires on that first caution as well. You got Joe Vulpes directly behind him with the 988 pit stop. I'm wondering if that as well, just right sides for Joe Vulpes. Kevin Kyle, now with the 14.5-second pit stop, I'm thinking that Kyle did take the 4 tires, has to feel good where he is. Now he just has to match the raw speed of Vulpes, Stewart up front, and of course, Mr. Jason Landry. Sarah now up into that front group. There's Jason Landry currently being shown in 8th, so few cars in front of him, but Landry on the 4 fresh tires. Sara and Lynott, as well as Modric, all going for strategy. Lynott with right sides, Sara and Modric fuel only. Vulpes taking right sides, Stewart taking right sides. So only car in front of Landry that took 4 is Kevin Kyle. Kyle wanted, of course, to push this thing, but still has the opportunity. There's going to be, 53, 54 when we go green, and Kyle proved it's possible. Away we go. Great start there by Evan Stewart. Going to get a nice jump, about 4 car lengths over the rest of the pack. Vulpes and Kyle side by side. Vulpes on the outside. Kyle trying to hug the apron. Modric and Lynott behind them. Looks like the outside lane has some momentum. Kyle side by side with Joe Vulpes. Kyle on the fresh tires. Vulpes only taking the rights. Outside lane still working. Look at Stewart pulling away from the pack. Not worried about fuel at the moment is the 34. Kevin Kyle battling Vulpes behind them. Lynott, Modric, and here comes Landry. Zips on by Sara and Justin Malarkey. Behind them, a jump to the 9th place car of Joey Stiers, and then a little bit more of a pack doing battle. So 2 separate packs doing competition with Evan Stewart leading this thing. Kyle and Vulpes doing battle. Must wonder, Kyle knows what it takes to make those laps, Johnny. Now Vulpes off the pace. Perhaps he just got the memo from his crew chief. This is what you said, Johnny. You said you want to race, you want to get up in the front, but on the other hand, you got to push this thing 54 laps.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at Vulpes, and it looks like he's starting to clutch during these turns too now. So I'm surprised it took him this long to do it. I feel like Vulpes is really more of a fuel-saving kind of guy.
Wow, Chris Smith into the pits right there. Big disappointment for the 37. I think he was a victim of a black flag and was serving a penalty. Oh, yeah, passing under caution. Oh, close pit. That's unfortunate. That's going to put 16 cars on the lead lap. This is brutal. So Landry closing the gap. You can see Lynott, Kyle, Vulpes, and Landry. You know, Kyle Lynott will not go away, will he, Johnny? We might be talking about the 988 at the end of this thing if they can catch up to Stewart.
I'm not surprised by that at all. Kyle Lynott's just a force to be reckoned with, and he wants that trophy.
Oh, yeah, that Colorado driver would love to put that KK Woodskate trophy up on the mantle. It would say somebody's Kyle Larson championship year, but it would say first at Nashville for Kyle Lynott if he could make that happen. Stewart putting up decent laps. Last lap, 30.03. No fuel saving going on there from the 34. Fuel saving wise, look at this. Last lap, Kevin Kyle, 36.4, and then a 35.2. So I think once you get back, you can see a little bit of fuel saving going on from the Kevin Kyle back group. But I don't think Stewart and Lynott really thinking about it. Poor Lynott, he's in no man's land. He's like, I can race to catch him, or I can slow down and start to save fuel. But one would think of the mentality you shared, Johnny, which was these guys want to race. They want to get up further, but they need a little bit of help if they're going to push it very hard. You can see other drivers out on the track making those calls. You can look all the way back to 14th where Medina is. I think he's saving a little bit of fuel. Oh, look at this battle right here. Gambrel, Modric, Sara. That is 3 of your 4 best of the rest contenders all having a party with each other. And not on the screen, but directly behind them, Jared Kelly. There he is. Those four right there, all battling for best of the rest contention. That's what you want to see. 8, 9, 10, and 11. All those guys wanting to be the champion here today. And up front, hey, look at this. Kyle, Vulpes, both battling. You can see it on the tree. And unfortunately, Jax Duval, day has ended. He has parked it, called it a day, threw it into the wall. No more Jax Duval for the day.
Yeah, I feel like maybe just all the pressure of trying to win this just got into his head, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but hopefully recollect, calm down, and then next year I don't doubt that he won't be back at the Championship 4.
Oh, captain of the Florida Man Racing team. I'm sure we're going to see a little bit more of something with him. And now that he has an extra year of experience, one more year of that level of competition, we'll put him right back into this thing. Up front, still good racing going on. Evan Stewart with the lead, has it up to 2.4 seconds. No fuel saving. Last lap, 3.21. Stewart wide open on this track, assuming everybody's going to need that one more pit stop. But looking at the lap times, people like Jose Medina, 30.82. He's saving. How about Joey Stiers, 30.89. Jared Kelly, 30.81. These guys definitely doing a little bit of shenanigans to make it to the end. Landry, 30.48, right on the cusp. You got to think he's probably saving. Here we go. Let's take a look inside Landry, see what his strat is. What do you think he's doing there, Johnny?
So it looks like he's throwing the clutch right before the turn, and then just releasing the clutch and then just letting it roll. So he's only clutching a little bit.
Yeah, he gave it up to him way too easy. Here's the in-car with Joe Vulpes.
Not
a little bit of the
anymore.
same.
I saw him clutching earlier, but now it looks like he's just trying to race. He's not worried about fuel anymore.
Oh, he's downshifting. Look at that. Interesting. Yeah, he's downshifting. This guy's dropped the hammer. So Vulpes is staying with him without downshifting. Kevin Kyle going as fast as he can. Landry clutching. And Duval is parking. There's smoke coming out of his trailer. State troopers are trying to get in, so I think Florida Man got his own set of issues. On the track, the best of the rest contenders. Gambrel definitely racing, because you saw how quick he got around the 56 of Landry. Sara looks like he might be happy following Landry around. And then taking a dip below them, you can see the 23 of Joey Stiers. So lots of different strategies all coming together here, but it all going to revolve around this staying green. If we saw one more caution come out, then that throws everything off. Everybody pits, and we're back to even, and it's a question of who saved a set of tires.
Do we have that information? You're kind of guessing?
Yeah, we're just guessing. You figure, Johnny, everybody had 4 in the pit at the beginning. We've had 3 significant pit stops, so I would imagine everybody's got 1.
That'd be such equal footing at this point. It's all about position.
Yeah.
You really want to fuel save?
Well, you got to, right? Because
it's so weird, because if you look back throughout the whole season, most of the cautions happening in the beginning of the race. There's not really much cautions at the second half of the race. Everybody starts trying to drive cleaner. If that same pattern follows here, you'd want to be fuel saving, but then you get the caution and you're kind of
Then you're stuck
now
in
you
the
lost-
field.
you lost your position, the positions you could have had.
Well, you definitely need to pick a spot and go for it and just figure it out from there. Up here, we can see Kevin Kyle's made the decision. He's racing. He's full out. Joe Volpus, now he's fading a little bit, so perhaps he's decided to save fuel now. But late decision by Volpus in the race to make that call. Let's see what he's got. Oh, he's still in fourth. He's bringing it. Yeah, so looks like Volpus is bringing it. Looks like he's saved sometimes and raced sometimes. Yep. And here's Landry. Oh, he's in fifth. I know what he's doing, Johnny.
What's he doing?
Well, you tell me if you're in fifth out there.
Just
Yep. Oh, he does redline it pretty hard.
it's not wonder if redline saves more gas than downshifting.
Mm,
I'm trying to think of me in my car when I do this stuff, because I downshift a lot when I'm on the freeway, and I should probably stop. But I don't know which saves gas more.
Oh, are you worried about fuel mileage on the highway?
No, I'm worried about the cops.
We do not condone speeding on highways, ladies
No.
and gentlemen.
No one said speeding on highways. You know, I just like to be a little loud. I don't have a
here we
horn,
go.
so
Oh, okay. 5 lead changes here today. We've had 6 cautions for 13 of our laps. Evan Stewart back into the lead, the fish speed driver with a great showing here today. That number 34 Ford does have a lead of 2 seconds over Kyle Lynott. But the question really is, can anyone push 54 laps of fuel out of this tank? We saw Kevin Kyle do it early on, but now, on the radio, Johnny, Kevin Kyle going to bring her down right now. He stretched it early, a little loose, going to straighten it out. Wow, so Kyle, who proved you could run at 54 laps, now short pitting the entire field. This is how you commit, though, Johnny. He made that decision early. Now he's short pitting. Let's find out if he's going to put right sides on it and drop that hammer.
you know what? I feel like that's a genius move. You get everybody starting to talk about fuel saving. Now you have Landry going slower because he's fuel saving. Volpus was going, or not deciding what he wanted to do, but he was also, losing a little bit of track position. And then he comes out of the blue and just says, "All right, I'm going to pit now." And so
Here
now
we go.
everybody that was fuel saving loses their positions.
That's right. And the other thing is he's short pit the field. So anybody making this decision after him, he got up to speed before them, will go by them on the pit cycle and have a mouthful of dirty air for anybody that gets close. Evan Stewart loves seeing this because he knows that he's racing Kevin Kyle on the same strategy. So again, what can Volpus do? What can Landry do with their pit strategy? Michael Sara, also one of those guys. Jared Kelly, all these fellas. Paul Ferdiani running in the back, 37.7 last time. Another guy you imagine is in the pit cycle of no more stops. Rick Modric coming in, best of the rest driver here, gonna take the right sides for this final pit stop. Only gonna be about 28 more laps to the end. Oh, he's taking 4. Johnny, what's happening? Did he not unclick the button?
That would suck. As someone who's had that happen to him, I'd be fuming right now.
We're going to have to keep an eye on where he comes out because that increased his pit time significantly. I'm looking at it right now, a 14.58 versus just the 10 seconds of Kevin Kyle. That's a 4.5 second difference. And with only 26 laps to go, you got to wonder the way the tires have not been falling off, if that was the move to make or not. Here's Volpus again in 5th gear now, finally making the decision. Question is, how much time did Volpus lose? He's still ahead of Landry by 4 seconds. ahead of Gambrel by 0.8 of a second. And Gambrel and Stiers, they're racing like this is the Olympics. So neither one of those, I believe, are saving. Yeah, that looks like fourth gear right there. He wants a piece of the immediate trophy, closing that gap on Vulpes. Here's a fifth gearer right here. Now we're looking at the best of the rest contenders. We just looked at Eric Gambrel. Gambrel downshifting, accelerating hard. Here's Jared Kelly. He is using fifth gear, barely redlining it. Wow, look at that roll. There's Michael Sara, currently running in ninth. This is the third best of the rest candidate. I believe he is staying in fifth gear as well. Long roll right there. So it looks like Sara and Kelly both going to make the attempt to finish long. Remember, Modric has already pit, so he is committed to that. He has a short pit compared to Gambrel, but Sara and Kelly, if they can make this thing work, they will have the advantage over the other two. There's Jaden Porter, our Canadian star, driving around the outside with the other Canadian star, Richard Leclerc. Currently in 13th is the Edmonton number 74 driver. Good run here by Jaden. We still have 14 cars on the lead lap, but remember, 3 of these people have already pit for the final time. So if there is a pit cycle, we'll see it right around. Kevin Kyle being shown as the first car a lap down would receive the lucky dog and then be able to come in for a fresh set if he chooses to do so. Oh, wait, I'm actually, I said that in his pit crew gave me the bird because they have no tires left on the wall. Well, that's what you do. You can't leave anything on the track, right, Johnny? Use it all.
Why waste it, you know?
Oh, here comes Stewart making the call. Stewart going to bring it down, turns the lead over to temporarily to Gambrel. Gambrel, though, under attack by Joey Stiers once again. We've seen these two aggressive drivers bump earlier. We'll see if they can keep it on the straight and narrow, but both would love to lead a few laps here in the middle of this pit cycle. And then Lynott behind them and Joe Vulpes. So Stewart in and out very quickly, fuel only, just a little splash and go. Here we go. It's getting spicy. Spire's going to dive down below Gambrel. Gambrel stays high. Let him take the spot. Not the guy you're battling with, and I think Eric Gambrel, discretion is the better part of valor. Lets the 23 Toyota sneak on by so he does not have to deal with that.
Yeah, the worst I've seen on these championship races is when people are starting to fight people that aren't in the championship run. And it's like, you know, why are you doing? Why are you just wasting more than what you need to? Like right now, we have the 23 and the 9. Both are not in the running, right?
Yep.
The smart thing would be not to fight them. Use them to your advantage.
Yep. Speaking of not in contention, we see the 51 coming through the pits. Looks like he took right side only. And now Gambrel on the radio. Believe he is bringing it down as well. Here comes the 25. I smell right side tires. What do you think, Johnny?
I think right side too.
Oh, here comes David Brenner. And, yeah, long day for David Brenner. I used to seeing the Gulf Coast driver a little bit further up, but the speeds here today with this new package on these cars have been very high. We've seen a lot of sub 30-second laps out of all of these cars, so everybody competitive. As we suspected, right sides only for Gambrel back on the course. Here's Kyle Lynott zipping around Joe Vulpes. Both these cars are on the lead lap. Two different strategies, though, as you can see, Lynott dropping the hammer to take over. Vulpes directly behind him. So imagining that Stiers, who's 3 seconds ahead, is not saving fuel, and then Lynott as well, and then Vulpes, there's Justin Malarkey, and the gap is closing. Landry was 4 seconds behind Joe Vulpes. Now Jason Landry 1.67 seconds behind the Pennsylvania native. Vulpes letting him reel it in, but can Joe make the strat work? Will this be the day? Will Vulpes finally conquer Landry? No better race to do it than the championship race, Johnny.
Oh yeah, you know, the other races were just teases.
Yes. And we've seen him on the cusp of greatness so often. We saw him get into a little confusion of dirty air with a dirty car, dirty air with a lapped car. We've seen the fuel not work for him. We've seen a bad timed caution. But here it is right now. You can see clearly on that fuel saving strategy. But behind him, Landry, now the gap is half a second. Landry is in that group. He's just got Lynott and Malarkey ahead of him before he gets to Vulpes. And Landry not saving anymore. I wonder if he got the green light from his pit crew.
Yeah, I mean, Lynott and Malarkey, two guys that are not going to give up positions easily, but yeah, he went around Lynott pretty quick. Yeah, gave up that fuel strategy. I would assume so.
Yeah, looks like he's still in 5th. Let's see what he does here. Wow, that is some serious road course shenanigans. You see what he's doing there, Johnny? Like he's dropping that clutch and then he pops it and that turns that rear end around and he's getting a little bit better speed, but he's keeping the RPMs from going too high, as one might see in 5th gear.
Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah, and then he pops that, pop that clutch and that'll bring that rear end around. So his exit speed is spectacular.
Yeah, that was a quick catch up to Vulpes right there.
And I'm wondering, Johnny, you were talking about that battle that Vulpes was having with Kevin Kyle earlier. Do you think that's making him extend the saving run?
I feel like at this point, you kind of have to. We're getting too close to the finish line to even think about, anything really. If he knows he's not going to make it without the fuel saving, he's kind of stuck to that strategy now.
Oh, and here it is. The 56 has reeled him in. Goes below the apron. Vulpes not going to block. 56 to the apron. This is it. This is the battle for your championship. Both guys trying to extend the fuel run. And Jason Landry taking over here on 191. 10 laps to go. Poor Joe Vulpes looking at the fuel gauge, tapping on the thing. Maybe that battle with Kevin Kyle cost him too much fuel. Landry saving much earlier in the run, combined with the road course shocking of the car with the clutch, propelling him to the lead slowly now, pulling away 0.4 of a second. Jason Landry, 8 laps to go. Best of the rest battle, Jared Kelly, Michael Cera, just 0.3 of a second apart. Kyle Lynott brings it into the pit, gets out of the way of those two. Kelly and Cera both trying to extend this. Let's look inside with Michael Cera. What's he doing, Johnny?
Getting in 5th gear looks like. We got to see the next turn to see if he's trying anything cheeky like Landry, but
looks good. Nice and smooth, right?
Yeah.
There's Kelly. Oh, he redlines a little bit.
Yeah, red lines it for cool. It's like about a little less than a second.
A lot of clutch. Late exit speed too. He's really letting it come out and roll. He's got great mid-turn speed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Both those guys staring at the gauges. Meanwhile, Joey Styres does pit here on lap number 195. No miracle win. Joey winning at Homestead last year in the championship race to make it a Kyle Larson championship. Won't happen this year as Styres brings it down, puts right sides on it with only 5 laps to go. Hey, be fast at the end, right? Meanwhile, Landry now with the 0.9 of a second lead. 5 laps to go for Landry, looking for his 10th win, looking for his 4th championship, 3rd in a row. Jared Kelly and Michael Sara, best of the rest championship. Sara closing the gap, has the double nickel directly in front of him. These two men on the cusp of making the round of 12, settled for best of the rest, made it through 2 elimination rounds, and now with just 4 laps to go, seeing who will claim the title of best of the rest here at Nashville. Kelly just a tad quicker. Oh, and he gets the Jaden Porter 74 between them. There's Kevin Kyle as well, having a good run. Joe Vulpes, no chance at this point of catching Landry. As long as Landry can run this thing to the end, he should be in great shape here today.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little end for his farewell tour.
Oh, Landry with the lead up to 1.5 seconds. Vulpes clearly saving gas. Now you can see up to 10 and 15 miles an hour off of the pace. White flag soon coming out. We're on the last lap, waiting for that white flag to come. Oh, I'm still eyeballing Kelly and Sara. Kelly now pulling away from Sara just a little bit. Gotta wonder about the fuel. 2 to go. Landry bringing it out of turn number 4 across the start finish line. White flag is in the air. Jason Landry all year long has been a dominant force. David Medina was his competitor at the beginning of the year. Joe Vulpes at the end. Vulpes so close all year long with the 12 top 5s, but Jason Landry pushing the lead now, 2 seconds, bringing it out of turn number 4. Jason Landry wins at Nashville. Jason Landry is your champion once again. 3 in a row. 4 championships, 10 wins on the year. Johnny, it doesn't get much better than that.
It's a great ending, like I said, to his farewell tour. To be able to come out, win the championship race, and end on that high note.
Behind them, the drivers with congratulations. Jared Kelly going to win the best of the rest. No surprise there, Johnny. This guy missed the finals by 3 points, almost won the last chance race to get into the championship 12. So to see Kelly up at the front there, you got to be happy for him. Look at Gambrel giving him a little push to get him the rest of the way. Landry out of fuel. He's asking Lynott to do some donuts for him. There it is. Look at that team. Look at that team effort. You can see Paul Ferdiani also under the apron there with his ignition point champion teammate. What a race here today. Lots of different things going on, Johnny. We saw the the fuel strategy come up early by Kevin Kyle. Then we saw Kyle switch over to short pitting the rest of the field. Kyle is rewarded with a 7th place finish, but not quite enough to overcome Vulpes or Landry. Landry 1, Vulpes 2, Justin Malarkey going to bring it home in 3rd. And then you can see best of the rest competitors, Jared Kelly, Michael Sara in 4th and 5th. 6th today, Evan Stewart, Kevin Kyle 7, Jose Medina 8, Eric Gambrell 9, Joey Stiers holding on for that 10th place finish here today. Now, this might be the end of the season for the Premier Cup, but it is by far, it is far from over. We are going to take a 1-week break, and then the Dennis Puckett Memorial at Kentucky will be on the 22nd of February. So that will be coming up very soon. If you're interested, you're at home, you're thinking, hey, I want to run this league. It's never too late. Reach out, league admins, David Brenner and Joe Vulpes, David Buell, as well as Matt Schofield. All of these guys can help you get into this league. There will be an iRating cap of 2,000 for the Bonfire Premier Cup next year. So competitive fields expected with that 2,000 iRating cap. You're looking at the Vortex Racing Network's broadcast schedule. You've just watched the Premier Cup wrap up here. Tomorrow night, it's doubleheader tie. Oh, one more week. I'm so sorry. DDI ARCA Series, one more week before they start off their season. 2,700 iRating cap there if you'd like to race some ARCA cars. But then Monday Night Mayhem will continue. That broadcast, of course, brought to you live by yours truly, Mean Gene Money and Zach Panzarella. The MRL Cup will be in full effect. Tuesday nights, you can watch the Dennis Puckett Big Trucking Tuesday Series. Great fields there recently. Defending champion AJ Benish in the middle of a funk, but ready to see him break out at any time. Joe Vulpes with a huge points lead. We'll see what will break first. Thursday nights, this is Wednesday nights. This is an older schedule, I think. Wednesday night, of course, the DDI MRL Moonlight race. That is the joining of the two leagues. And we have seen a field of 57 at Daytona. Rockingham, they actually had qualifying where only the top 40 did compete. Week 3 will be coming up. You want to tune into that Wednesday night broadcast to see just how many people show and the action of the trucks in the DDI MRL Moonlight Racing League. Sister station MRL Broadcasting will bring you the ARCA Series on Saturday night. And then we wrap it back around, of course, to Mondays as we are taking a 1-week break from the Bonfire Premier Cup until it renews on the 22nd at Kentucky for the Dennis Puckett Memorial. There's your winner, Jason Landry, celebrating with his Ignition Point teammate of Paul Ferdiani. Gotta wonder, Johnny, what's going to happen next year with Ignition Point? You figure Landry leaving. I've heard from the rumor mill that Jared Kelly might go with his teammate to the newfound 4,000 iRating ARCA League that these boys are starting. That would leave behind Paul Ferdiani, Double O Joe, and Jose Medina. Maybe the Plus EB Paints team would return.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you know, they got their Landry left them with some tips and all that stuff. They might still be a force to be reckoned with next year.
Oh, you have to imagine so. Double O Joe Bennett, so fast, as is Paul Ferdiani. Both of these guys have been in best of the rest contention. Paul Ferdiani taking one of those titles. Jose Medina was a final 8 driver just this season. So even with the departure of Landry and possible departure of Jared Kelly, plus EV Paint's going to be in a good position for themselves next season, especially if they could score a fast driver from another team. You know, a driver that I might think of would be like an Eric Gambrell. You know, Gambrell's on that Pony Up team, so he already knows Jose. So theoretically, if you could pick up an Eric Gambrell onto that team, you know, put him in a faster car, who knows just how fast that team would be. But lots of moves. We'll have to see. You know, David Owens running part-time at the end. You wonder, is there a gap over in Gulf Coast Racing? We've seen Animal House Customs also had a spot available on their roster. So we'll just have to pay attention as it moves forward to see what teams are secured next year. Now, Johnny, next year, though, there will be no team points championship. Teams, of course, will just be for fun, as that is the direction of the league. You know, Dennis Puckett formed this league 14 seasons ago with the motto, with the slogan of a league for the rest of us, and adjustments being made over the last 2 years to get more drivers of that 2,000 iRating cap into the field. One of the things to take away, the edge, I don't know, the razor edge, the aggressiveness will be get rid of team points as well, hopefully encouraging everybody to chat even more and share that race etiquette, race knowledge, whatever you would like to call it. But big changes coming for next year. Can't wait to see what happens under the leadership, of course, of David Brenner and Joe Volpes. That is going to wrap up our championship. Great run. You got any final thoughts as we're getting ready to head out of here, Johnny?
Oh, I mean, just this was a great season. I was glad to be able to come on board. It's insane the amount of talent that there is here. You know, I thought I was becoming a good racer, and I've tried driving in these cars, and Jesus, the talent these guys have is amazing. And can't wait to come back next season.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait either. Also, big shout out, big thanks to Kevin Kyle stepping into the booth here today. Kevin, but this is kind of a preview of what you and I are going to be doing in about 7 days.
That's right, Mean Gene. Just want to thank everyone part of this broadcasting team. Joe Volpes, big shout out to him. Zach Manzarella, you, of course, Mean Gene, Johnny Replay, all the guys back in the trailer. Couldn't have done this season without you guys, and then everyone in BRL. We appreciate you guys' support. Obviously, couldn't do without you and David Buell and all the all the proceeds and things you guys collected with the race sponsorships. We really appreciate that, helping us bring this to you. But like Mean Gene said, next Saturday morning, Valentine's Day, we got the Drive for 500. I think I got about 37 guys signed up. I'm going to be sending out an email with the password for the session. Just remember Sim Stamp Paint Jobs, because I'm not gonna hide the numbers, just because I'm not gonna assign you guys anything. So just remember that. But yeah, everything will start off 8 a.m. The race will start off 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and be a full-length 500. Really excited, and be excited working with Jerry again, knocking the rust off, and looking forward to all that. And a great season. Congratulations to Jason Landry on his farewell tour. Congratulations to Joseph. What a great run. And, yeah, hopefully next season for the BRL runs a little more smoother. But it was a great season overall. And that's me speaking as a driver in the BRL. But they've been great to work with here at the VRN, though. Great partner. And I hope to continue their the partnership going into the next season there, Mean Gene.
Oh, yeah. So much fun to call these races. I I love the Cup cars, the next-gen Cup cars. So much fun to call. And now with these new packages, with the higher horsepower, I'm expecting to see even greater battles as the cars can start to spread out and the aero package doesn't pull them together like the Titanic and an iceberg. Instead, maybe we'll see the field spread out a little bit. That's what we saw today, but that was more indicative, I believe, of Nashville rather than just the new package. Now, those late runs, I think, was absolutely with that new package. So you can see there, 10 cars finishing on the lead lap. Great run here today as we see Jason Landry claim his 4th championship and his 10th win on the season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap us up from Nashville. Been a pleasure to bring you this broadcast. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed sharing it with you. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, Johnny Replay, Kevin Kyle, shout out to all our sponsors, KK Woodscapes, Todd Dunn, SimRacingNation.com. Thank you to the admins of the Bonfire Racing League. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go anybody but the Patriots. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.